Here's Sensei. slideshow.
Thank you. All right. That's big one. Okay, oops. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Sharon. I'll be your MC this morning. Well, everybody's sitting in the back. Okay. And, all right. We'll begin our service with, please stand, and if you're able, we'll sing the Bandana Tisarana together in both Pali and English.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance.
Thank you. Please be seated. We'll now sing the Gatha Gasho with a meter, which will be shown on the screens. And this will be followed by quiet meditation.
Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I gasho with Amida, trees and grasses and flowers all grow in great compassion. This light shines throughout the world. I gasho with Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seeds sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I gasho with Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in their butsu. I gasho with Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I gasho with Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel Butsu in work and play, every day with Amida, every moment filled with light. I show with Amida, remember the golden chain, kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I show with Amida, in the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night. I show with Amida, Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. I show with Amida. The virtue of Avida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Now, let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Now sit up straight and align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe in, you feel energy filling your body. And as you breathe out, any stress or worries in your mind just fade away. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. Litsanamanda, 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 Litsanamanda. Number one.
Sorry. It's offering of incense. And everyone is welcome to offer incense as an expression of gratitude for the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And we have 3 incense burners at the front. Okay? Mahalo. Thank you very much. Let us all recite the golden chain of love together. I am a link in the middle of this golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure, beautiful thoughts, to say pure, beautiful words, and to do pure, beautiful deeds, knowing that what I do now depends not on my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in this golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Now, please rise. If you're able, we'll sing the Gatha at our altar. The words will be found on the screen. Please rise. Oh, sorry. You'll go itself. Oh, sorry. Okay. Bye. Careful, Mom.
I
No.
All right. Please be seated. And now it's children's Dharma story time. Come on down.
Okay. Live from Makawao, it's children's Dharma story time, starring Barkley the dog.
Oops, that's not Lucy the Ladybug.
And Lucy the ladybug. And Baby Dot, with special guests Green Snoopy and Kermit the Gosho Frog. Hey-ha! Aloha kako! Ohio gozaimasu. Good morning. Mahalo for coming today. We're truly grateful that you're here. Yes, thank you so much for coming to join with us. It's wonderful that you could join us. Mahalo nui loa. Thank you very much. We have a great story for you today. It's one of Sensei's favorites. Today's story is Why the Rooster Crows by Reverend Dr. Seigen Haruo Yamaoka. Once upon a time, a long time ago, in a faraway place, there lived a rooster. The rooster heard that the Buddha was very ill, and he became very sad because the Buddha had always been kind to him. So he traveled many miles to see the Buddha. And when he got there, he saw all the sad faces of the people and animals surrounding the Buddha. The rooster went up to the Buddha and began to cry. The Buddha asked, "Why do you cry, rooster?" "Everyone is sad because you will soon depart from life, and we will not hear you, or we will not see you or hear your voice. You are our master, and we need you to help us understand the meaning of life. If you go, I do not know what to do." The Buddha said, "Be the best that you can be." The rooster did not understand and continued to cry. The Buddha said with a smile, "Will you do something for me? Every morning when the sun starts to rise in the east, please crow and wake up my disciples and remind them they must begin their day of practice and study." The rooster agreed, and upon the passing of the Buddha into Nirvana, he waited for the sun to rise from the east. As the sun began to brighten the early morning sky, he cleared his throat, shook himself to relax, and took a deep breath, and let out a long, After he finished, he felt the Buddha's warm compassion deep in his heart. Each time he let out his crow, he was reminded of the Buddha's compassion. Each morning he crowed for the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. When the monks first heard the rooster crowing, they were very angry. But they were reminded of what the Buddha had said to the rooster. So gradually they changed their attitudes. From then on, they woke up, thanked the rooster and the Buddha, and began their studies and practice. Ever since then, the rooster began to crow at the crack of dawn to remind us to wake up and hear and study the Buddha's teachings. So even to this day, if you are out in the country, you will hear the rooster calling out at the crack of dawn. And the rooster is now honored as a disciple of the Buddha. The end. And And that was the story Why the Rooster Crows by Reverend Dr. Seigen Haruo Yamaoka, who lived from 1934 to 2023. Hey-ha, wasn't that a great story? I love that part. Hey, what part did you like? Really? I love that part too. I love learning that roosters crow every morning to remind us to listen to the Buddha's teachings. I thought the rooster was just being a rascal and waking me up every morning. Neha! That's right. The Buddha taught the rooster to simply be the best that you can be. And he gave the rooster a very important role to wake up the monks and to remind them to start their day of study, practice, and gratitude. The rooster is happy because he, she, or they are being who they really are. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So remember, kids, be good, but not too much. Okay, no reaction from the little guy. It didn't work, but thank you very much. And that's the end of Children's Dharma Story Time. So, now, Dharma School students and children under the age of 11 get to follow Auntie Sharon and Auntie Karen to the social hall for Dharma School. So have fun. And the rest of you are mine for the next 20 minutes. Yep, but I actually I'll go straight into my Dharma talks.
Yeah.
Okay, let me open up the windows on this side just to let the smoke out. Uh-oh, looks like it's kind of sinking again on this side. So we'll look at that after this. John, just to let you know, yeah, where the sinkhole was, it looks like there's kind of a groove building up there, so we'll take a look at it after the thing. Okay. And now it's time for Dharma School for the rest of us. Okay. There we go. So this one I titled, In the End, the Buddha Does This. So this is to understand Nirvana and Parinirvana. So aloha mai kako, aloha for everyone. Let's put our hands together in gassho and bow our heads, and together say Namo Amida Butsu, in joy and thankfulness for the kindness and gratitude beyond words. Tathagata Amida working in our lives. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So today is nehan-e. It's a major service which marks the parinirvana of Gautama or Shakyamuni Buddha. It's the realization of ultimate nirvana. So raise your hand if you've heard the expression parinirvana. Most people haven't. It's kind of a technical thing. Here in Hawaii, we talk about it as being Nirvana Day. So I'd like to explain the difference because there are actually two parts of the same equation. So I'm going to be answering some questions this morning. So what is nirvana? What is parinirvana? What is birth into the Pure Land? What is the faith of Shinjin? And why should I care? What's in it for me? First, what's nirvana? So, raise your hand if you've heard the word nirvana. Right? At least we've heard it. Right? What do you think it means? Okay, if you're of a certain age, it's a rock band, little late 80s, I know. But think about it, right? What is nirvana? We talk about it a lot. So, technically, right, nirvana is defined as extinguishing. It means to extinguish, right, the insatiable desires and cravings that are driven by a clinging attachment to a false idea of self. Right? So, what we think of as the self, as me, is actually our ego, right, which the Buddha taught is devoid of any substance, it's empty. and it's constantly changing. And thus we're attached to something that actually has no substance and is constantly changing. No wonder we're not happy, right? So nirvana is the ability, is realization of extinguishing all of those desires, all of those cravings. And that's to say, the important thing to remember is nirvana happens in this body, in this life. And so nirvana is something a human being goes through. And the joke, of course, it's not a rock band in the late 1980s. So remember that nirvana is a verb. It's not a noun. Okay? It's an action. Right? Nirvana is to extinguish your self-centered desires. It's not a destination. Right? We tend to think of, oh, it's someplace you go when you die. You know, nirvana. Or if you grew up in the 60s, it's kind of, oh, nirvana, dude. It's kind of this drugged out state of meditative trance. Like, oh, yeah, this nirvana. But think about it, right? So nirvana talks about the perfection of the imperfect. So we're human beings, thus we're imperfect. So the Buddha's, awakening, right? The story of nirvana is talking about the potential for improvement, right? The potential to perfect the imperfect. Okay, that's fine, doctrinally, but why should I care, right? So why should you care about extinguishing your self-centered desires? What would your life be like if you didn't want anything more? Right? If you didn't want more, if you're just content with everything that you have, you're perfectly content with everything you have, right? With the way your life is. What if you have to never worry about losing what you have? Right? If you had $10 billion in the bank, you'd be really worried about losing that money or not getting a sufficient return on investment. What would it be like? What would your life be like if you could truly see yourself just as you are, and if you could accept others just as they are, with no discrimination, with no judgment, because you've integrated the truth of non-self, that it's not about me, that what I think of as the self, my ego, is actually empty and it's constantly changing. If you could actually integrate that to every aspect of your life, and know without a doubt that all life is one. We say that, it makes a good t-shirt slogan, right? All life is one. But can you really live your life like that? What would your life be like if you were completely free, right, to devote your days to helping other people, right, without the expectation of recognition or reward? So we talk about this stuff, right, kind of intellectually and philosophically speaking, but this is actually what it means, right? If you can achieve nirvana, right, to become a Buddha, right, to extinguish your self-centeredness, what would the world be like? What would your world be like? Your life be like? So this is nirvana, also called awakening or enlightenment. The typical English translation is enlightenment, which is thought to be a little bit misleading because it tends to say that some external force is enlightening you. Right? To be enlightened is a passive form of the verb. So typically we use awakening, to awaken to reality as it is. So this is the realization of the Dharma, the wisdom of the Buddha's teachings. Right? It's the realization, the manifestation in a human form in this life. So becoming a Buddha, becoming awakened one. Okay, so what happens when a Buddha dies? Right? So we know today we mark the death of Shakyamuni Buddha, of Gautama Buddha, historical Buddha. So what happens when a Buddha dies? Having perfected the imperfect, and becoming a Buddha, it still means you're in a human form. You're still in this human body. And this is constantly changing, thus it's impermanent, and thus it inevitably reaches the end of life. Right? So yes, in the end, a Buddha dies. So even if you devote your life to becoming a Buddha, in the end, you die. Right? And as Americans, we kind of think, hey, what's in it for me? That's not such a great deal. So again, the doctrinal explanation is when a Buddha dies, right, they realize what's called parinirvana. Okay, so parinirvana is the ultimate or supreme enlightenment, the ultimate or supreme awakening. So the goal of Buddhism, right, is to break free of samsara. Samsara being defined as the 6 realms of existence, and we're born into the human realm, so that we're here, we're listening to this talk, and we can actually comprehend the talk. And so when you, the typical idea is that if you're born into the human realm, you live your life, you die, and then you'll be reborn, right, another birth in one of the 6 realms, which is a different discussion, but it's an interesting view of the world, right? And this just keeps repeating over and over and over and over. It's endless. But when you're born into the human world, it's the world of confusion and delusion. If you look at the news, right, it's very confusing. And so to break free of this is the goal of Buddhism, is to break free of this endless cycle of births and deaths. And having done that, this is what they call parinirvana. So the Buddha, right, the historical Buddha, Prince Siddhartha, through discipline, through study, through practice, achieves the ability, right, to nirvana, to release, to extinguish the flames of self-centered desire. Becomes a Buddha. Everyone says, oh wow, you know. But the Buddha does get sick, and the Buddha does die. So, the way to understand this, right? Nirvana is the first stage, and then parinirvana is the ultimate stage. So it's a 2-step process in that sense. So on Nirvana Day, what we call Nirvana Day, is actually marking the parinirvana of Gautama Buddha, of Shakyamuni Buddha. And so you've heard of Bodhi Day, right, which we do, because we have a Bodhi tree. That's December 8th. We mark the Bodhi, or the awakening. Right? We mark the nirvana of the historical Buddha. Right? The extinguishing of desire, right? Transcending the ego, and becoming a Buddha. So we're marking the nirvana, and Bodhi is just another way to look at it. So in contrast, the question then becomes, how do I get there? How do I achieve nirvana? How do I achieve parinirvana? So Siddhartha, as you recall, the story is said to first have mastered self-denial. At the time, it was thought if you deny the self, all of your self-centered desires, that's way to enlightenment. So, the story of him, stopping eating, basically, and like 1 grain of rice, 1 teaspoon of water a day, and his body just shrinks down to nothingness. And that's when he realizes this is not working, this is not the way. He accepts food and water from Sujata, the village maiden, and then he decides to go sit under the Bodhi tree until he finds the truth. And that's what he does. So the Buddha teaches the Eightfold Noble Path, or the Eightfold Path of the Noble Ones. It's a path of discipline, it's a path of study, it's a path of practice, constant practice as a monk. As a monk requires total commitment. You have to abandon your family, you have to abandon all of your communities, leave all your money behind, all the stuff you worked for, leave it behind. Right? Shave your head, give up your fancy clothes, give up everything. And you have to live by all these rules. Right? So this is where vegetarianism, veganism comes from. The idea of ahimsa, causing no harm. So again, I tell the story about the lanterns, the 2 that are hanging down. That these are, the story goes that they were designed by Shakyamuni Buddha so that the monks, the disciples, when they're walking at night, don't step on any bugs. Right? So that you illuminate the path so you're not stepping on bugs. And those are just a few of the rules. You've probably seen on the news, right, the monks marching for peace, which I think was quite amazing. This is an example of this approach. It's common to Theravada Buddhism, which is practiced in Asia. So most of the monks look like they're Tibetan or Nepalese or Indian. I'm not really sure where they came from. But they're all monks. They're all dressed in the robes. They all have shaved heads. So these monks are striving to perfect the imperfect self, to perfect the imperfect every day through their thoughts and words and actions. So that in the current political and social climate of America, right, the faith and the devotion of these monks, it offers an inspiring vision of the possibility of perfecting the imperfect world that we live in. And that's why people are going, yes, okay, they're just walking, for 70 days in a row or whatever it is. But it's the idea that they're doing this for peace. In this time, again, this idea that we can actually perfect the imperfect world. That's the promise of Buddhism. So centuries after the Buddha dies, after the historical Buddha dies, after his parinirvana, a couple centuries, the Mahayana stream of Buddhism emerges. It's a path of devotional practice by lay people and also monks. In the beginning, Mahayana was for monks and lay people. So these devotional practices build merit, with the idea of building merit, offering incense, praising the Buddha, saying the sutras, singing the songs, doing the recitations, studying the wisdom of the Buddha. All of these things, bowing to the Buddha. Right? So all of these elements are in our Sunday service. But you have to keep doing this, and keep doing it, and keep doing it, and deny everything else. All the fun stuff in life, just give it up. Just give it all up. And it's a very, the path of discipline, obviously, the monastic path. It's not for everyone. It's very, very difficult. And it's a path taken by very few people. In Japan, a very famous practice is, I can't remember the numbers off the head, but somebody just finished it. It's a Zen practice. You basically run up and down the mountain for like 1,000 days or something crazy like that. And it's a big distance, it's huge, it's like 50 kilometers or something. You go down, you come back up, you go down, you come back up, and you do this every day. Right? And it's thought by through doing this, right, this is the kind of practice and discipline that's required. So in contrast, right, so why is the Nembutsu, why did it get banned during Honen's time, during Shinran's time? Why was Shinran exiled? So contrast it, the path of Shinjin, the path of the faith of Shinjin, and just saying Namo Amida, it's called the easy path, right, compared to becoming a monk. Right? But the easy path, right, Jodo Shinshu, Nembutsu, it requires something that's even more difficult. Right? You have to accept the gift of the faith of Shinjin. So Shinjin and Nembutsu, so in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, right, we live the life of Namo Amida Butsu, also called Nembutsu, the faith of Shinjin. One of the more interesting translations which fallen out of favor is endowed faith. So we have faith, but it is endowed, it is given to us. Joy and gratitude by realizing the entrusting and kindness and gratitude beyond words, the Tathagata Amida. So when Shinjin's awakened within us, we join the ranks of the truly settled. If you're really interested in it, it's called Shojoju in Japanese. The ranks of the truly settled. So your birth in the Pure Land is assured. What Shinran teaches is the equivalent of Maitreya, the next Buddha, the future Buddha, the next Buddha to come, is called Maitreya. So in other words, achieving this faith, accepting this gift of faith, is equal to nirvana in this body, in this life, and parinirvana when you die. So in other words, Shinjin equals nirvana and parinirvana. So Shinran's basic teaching says that Amida is everything, everywhere, all at once. And Namo Amida Butsu can be found in all aspects of our life every day. So we're brought to see ourself, quote unquote self. What is the self? Right? In the light of wisdom, without the filter of ego, and without the attachment to self. We see that without a doubt, just as we are, we're not capable of realizing nirvana and becoming Buddha in this life, in this body. So what are you going to do? Right? We see without a doubt, just as we are, that Namo Amida Butsu actually reached out to us and embraced us and will never abandon us. But it's not because we're good, or we've done all, we're good, or that we deserve it, but simply because we're simple, ordinary human beings, bogged down by our attachments and limited by our human mind and ego. And so Amida creates this path of Nembutsu, right? You just hear the calling voice, and you say Namo Amida Butsu. The calling voice is for you, it's for me, it's for everyone and anyone. And the Nembutsu is just the practice of Nembutsu, just saying Namo Amida Butsu, enjoying gratitude for this gift, the faith of Shinjin, right? The assurance of parinirvana in the Pure Land, and our return to this world in oneness with others. In oneness with Amida to save other people, right? And saying Namo Amida Butsu is something everybody, anyone can do. And that's kind of the whole point. The reason why it got banned is because you don't need priests in fancy robes doing fancy ceremonies, right? You just have to have faith. which in modern life, right, in modern times, is not a very popular thing. Faith is getting kind of a negative reputation. But I would argue that the strength and serenity to persevere, to push ahead in a crazy world, and I think we'll all admit the world's kind of crazy right now, right? That it does come from faith. It does come from faith. It's hard to explain these things to people because most people don't want to hear about it. All you need to do is hear Nam-myoho Davidsu. It's calling to us constantly, just as we are. All we need to do is to say Nam-myoho Davidsu each time we discover aspects of Amida working in our life. So that when you see the sunrise, that's Nam-myoho Davidsu. When the rooster crows, when the sound effect works in my presentation, when the rooster crows, that's Nam-myoho Davidsu. When you're sad, when you're happy, right, when you're feeling lonely, this is all Nam-myoho Davidsu. So, Shinran teaches, right, that all we need to do is accept this great gift, right, of Nam-myoho Davidsu, which is the perfection of the three treasures. It's the perfection of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, which you all find here in this Honganji temple, in this community called the Sangha. So we always teach little kids, right? What do you say when you receive a present? Say thank you. Say thank you. I should read it. Say thank you. And as adults, we must say the same. Right? So as Buddhists, we see that everything and everyone in our unrepeatable life is a priceless gift. And we should just say mahalo, express gratitude no matter what. No matter what life brings to us as it unfolds naturally. So it is said that the Buddha's last words before dying and realizing parinirvana were, all things arising from causes and conditions are constantly changing. They are not lasting. Work hard to gain your own salvation. Wisdom of the Buddha. Nam-myoho Davidsu. So we always teach the little kids, right? What do you say when you receive a present? Say thank you. Oops, that's repeating itself. And so as Shin Buddhists, how do we work hard to gain our own salvation? We're not monks, right? We're not doing the sutras every day. But we do it every day, if you think about it. So when we put our hands together in Gasho, when we bow our heads in gratitude, and together we say Nam-myoho Davidsu for the joy, in joy, for the kindness and gratitude beyond words, Amida working in our lives, every moment of each day of this unrepeatable life. Nam-myoho Davidsu. And that's basically all you have to do. Pretty easy. Mahalo for listening this morning, and may your day be filled with aloha. Nam-myoho Davidsu. Okay, and we go over to Jean.
Thank you, Reverend Carey, for sharing the Dharma message this morning. Let's all chant the Metta Sutta, the Loving Kindness Sutra, to be shown on the big screen. We'll let Reverend Carey start after he gets settled.
May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to us. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Nam-myoho Davidsu.
Please rise if you are able, and let's sing Ondok-san, which will be shown on the big screen. Please remain standing and let's sing the Nembutsu.
The wisdom of the Buddha. If something needs to be done, then do it, and do it wholeheartedly. Namo Amida. Okay.
Please be seated.
Reverend Carey will now lead us in gratitude meditation.
So let's sit together quietly for a few moments. Just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight and align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes halfway, so you're looking both outwardly and inwardly. And just breathe. Breathe in, and breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe out. As you breathe in, think of something for which you are grateful. And as you breathe out, just say mahalo. Just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. Vitsnamanda, 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 Vitsnamanda.
Mahalo nui loa. Thank you, everyone, for attending this morning's Dharma service. May your day be filled with aloha. Do we have any announcements?
Sorry, Jean, I forgot to change that slide. Okay, so next week is the, actually next week, the whole week is the Legislative Assembly, basically. So I won't be here. We're going to be having a lay-led service. And then here's the rough schedule for March. March 1st, first Sunday with Dharma School. March 8th, Dharma Family Service. March 15th will be Spring Equinox, the Higan service. And we'll also have Dharma School on that day. And then March 22 and March 29, I'm not here. So March 22, I'll be in Japan. And then I'll be coming back. Actually, no, I can't. I have to see this. But I decided I can't really go to the BWA conference, so I might be here on the 29th. Anyway, that's the basic schedule for us. Any other announcements?
I have one announcement. If you're a BWA member, Maui United BWA is still cutting ribbon kits to make into leis for the 2027 BW World Buddhist Women's Convention in Honolulu. So if you have time, come on Monday mornings from 8:30 to 10:30 to Kahului, Honganji, and we will be cutting ribbon kits until we finish up all the ribbon. We probably have about 400 more to go. And then we will start with the ribbon lay braiding. So please come on down if you have time. Pardon me, thank you. And if there are no other announcements, excuse me, everyone is welcome to enjoy refreshments and talk story in the social hall.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I'm serious. I'm serious. You will address that. You called me on that, right? Yeah. I heard everything you said. I was calling before I started.